Good morning, everyone. I appreciate you taking the time today to listen to my presentation. Unfortunately, I'm not there in person, so I hope everyone's enjoying the couple days together. And my plan certainly was to be there. Flight delays and things had different plans for me, but anyhow, I appreciate your time. My name's Jeff McKinnon. I'm the CEO of Cotex Technologies and also an early investor in the company. Just quick background, I'm an accountant by trade. I've worked in agriculture, agri-tech for the last 15 years, primarily doing scale up of early stage companies and early stage technologies, and Cotex being one of the more exciting portfolio companies. So absolutely thrilled to be here today representing the team at Cotex. So Cotex is at our heart, we are a coating company. So we leverage our patented technology to coat virtually any substrate with virtually any polymer. We have decided to focus our commercialization efforts on the biodegradable controlled release fertilizer market as our sort of introduction to the market. We've also dabbled with seeds. We've done some work with pharmaceuticals. We've done some work with water treatment and chlorine tablets, but ultimately we identify now as a biodegradable controlled release fertilizer producer. Given the knowledge and the background of the folks in the room today, I won't spend a lot of time on sort of discussing the problem, but just focused on even the nitrogen fertilizer market. We're talking a couple $100 billion a year for the global market. Lots of documentation and science to support over 50% of nitrogen that's applied to the fields is lost to the environment. In our business, we work with coated urea, we work with coated NPK as well. So we're really trying to access and help solve the issue of fertilizer runoff and greenhouse gas emissions as it relates to that, and doing that in a biodegradable coating. So as many of you know, part of the challenge with fertilizer runoff is the mismatch between the demand that the plant needs and the timing of that demand with the timing and the supply of fertilizer. The controlled release fertilizer market has been around for a long time. We're not necessarily looking to reinvent the wheel there. The challenge that the industry faces with controlled release fertilizer is it's non-biodegradable. The liquid coating methodology tends to be polyurethane based, which leaves over 12.5 million tons of microplastic contamination in the soil every year. The liquid coating also lends itself to a bit of a poorer quality product, meaning that the consistency of the coating is a low degree of consistency, which means the release rate and the release curve of the product is better than non-coated, but is still problematic in terms of release matching the the demand of the plant. To have a really high quality coated fertilizer at this point is extremely expensive. Where our model comes in, we have, as I mentioned, a patented technology that allows us to use a dry coating methodology. We're essentially polymer agnostic. We can add inhibitors, we can add different additives to the product. So it gives us a tremendous amount of flexibility, and with our technology, we're able to do it extremely quickly and extremely cost effectively. So the process itself is almost instantaneous versus sort of the traditional liquid coating methodology, but also because of the application of the polymer, we're able to significantly reduce the percentage of coating weight on a per granule basis. So there's far less coating material needed to achieve the objectives of the Cotex product. So we're able to produce a non-biodegradable product that is very significantly less expensive than what's on the market today and extremely higher quality. We are focusing primarily on a biodegradable product, so providing that same CRF product with a higher degree of quality, and we're doing that with a fully marine and soil biodegradable coating. Our model is very low capex. It's extremely energy efficient. So the input cost of producing our product, as I mentioned, significantly less. And really that's what we've been targeting with the farmers in our go-to-market strategy is we need to be able to give farmers yield that's either better or consistent with the current product in the market. We need to be able to do that on a cost-effective basis for the farmers. And if we can add additional benefit through a biodegradable coating or a higher quality product, that's essentially a win for the farmers. This is just a quick picture of our product versus liquid coating. So you can see on the left, we have the traditional liquid coating. It's very non-uniform in terms of the thickness, which leads to inconsistent release curves. The Cotex product on the right, you can see a much thinner coating. So we use a very, very low micron coating depending on the release curve that's desired. But you can see the consistency of that coating. So that allows for a much more controlled, much more managed release curve, which we're then able to better align with what the plant uptake is. With our product design, we can do all kinds of different release curves and rates. We can do delayed release, triggered release, constant release. We can do sigmoid, which is what we're working on in the rice market. We have done some field trials, which I think is of important note for this conversation. We've been doing them primarily with post-secondary institutions, research institutions. Also have some field trials underway with some big fertilizer distributors, which we'll talk about in a few minutes. But ultimately, the results that we've been experiencing is similar yields to the traditional, and this is corn in Nova Scotia, but typical yields compared to the double application that's sort of traditionally used in the large scale field corn application. We're doing it with a single application, and it's using anywhere between 50 to 80% less urea needs to be applied using our product compared to the traditional model. And during all of that, we're seeing similar yields and similar growing results to what's currently in the market. And this product for us, as I mentioned, it's really about, can we get to cost parity with a biodegradable product? And in this case, we're seeing considerably less urea required in order to get the yields, and we're eliminating the entire second application. So from a farmer's perspective or a grower's perspective, it's cost neutral, plus they get the benefit of less fertilizer required and eliminating the application of a second fertilizer application. So the results have been extremely positive to date. From a commercialization standpoint, we are a small but mighty team at this point. There's a handful of us, mostly PhDs in Canada at the moment, working on optimizing the polymer recipes, optimizing the release curves, working with our suppliers to add inhibitors, to add different additives to the product. So we do have a number of larger partnerships either signed or under discussion. Nutrien, that's been press released is probably 2 years ago now. We have a research MOU in place with Nutrien. We're in discussions on a commercialization pathway. They've been very supportive. We have another large global fertilizer company that is servicing literally every continent. They are extremely engaged. We have a research MOU about to be signed with them. They're also going to provide some funding support on research. That's primarily around additives to existing product and optimizing the distribution of those additives and in this case, NPK. We have done some research on seed coating, as I mentioned a little bit earlier, with a global seed company. Seed is a little early for us. We're sort of dabbling in it. We're trialing a few things, but really the primary focus is the fertilizer industry, as I mentioned. We have a more regional fertilizer distributor focused primarily urea for ag through Asia. They've been to our facility. Field trials are underway. Things are going extremely well. The biodegradable aspect of our product is the big selling feature for them. We also have two regional distributors in Europe that we're engaged with and about to hopefully sign the initial LOI, which would be a commercial LOI. They're running field trials on product. And again, in Europe, the focus is biodegradability. So if we can replace product that is currently non-biodegradable with a biodegradable product while achieving all of the same outcomes, there's a lot of interest. So we're just working on solidifying these. These are larger distribution contracts. They would require us rolling out more production capacity within. Our model is to sort of co-locate with these larger distributors and eliminate some of the logistical costs associated with the product. We're also working from a research perspective with a global ag chemical company on potentially adding things like herbicides, pesticides to the granules for when they're distributed across the field. The plants aren't only getting fertilizer; they're getting other benefit as well. And then we're also working with I would say it's a regional distributor in the U.S. that focuses more on the ornamental market. So those would be more NPK tablets, which really is our sweet spot. We're fully commercially capable now in Nova Scotia of producing NPK tablets for the ornamental market. And again, we've received a lot of positive feedback, and we expect to be in market with that product by mid-2025. So our business model, as I said, we're a small but mighty team. We're a young team. We're patent protected around the technology. Our focus, as I mentioned, is the fertilizer space and really commercializing a disruptive fertilizer product that gives the growers and the farmers what they need while reducing greenhouse gas emissions, reducing water table contamination through runoff, and eliminating tens of millions of tons of microplastics a year. My name, as I mentioned earlier, Jeff McKinnon. I wish I could be there with you guys today in person. My contact information is there. Would love to connect and chat about the industry, chat about commercialization opportunities, collaboration opportunities, funding opportunities. We are doing a seed round at the moment. So at this point, we're looking for connectivity. And ultimately, we are based in Canada. We want a presence in the Midwest US, which is why I wish I could be there today. So please reach out. I'd love to entertain any questions, just general conversations. Again, apologies for not being there in person. I hope everyone enjoys the couple days together, and hopefully we'll get to meet in person fairly soon.